Let's talk about Union-12 for Object 279. This looks like a simple mission to get done, and it really should be, quite frankly. We need to enable our allies to kill 7 tanks, either through tracking or spotting, over the course of 10 battles. And if we want to get this done with honors, we need to complete the secondary by doing it to 10 tanks. No, I didn't get the secondary here. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes, but this should be easy to do if you have the right tank. Unfortunately for me, I use the Object 140, the Tier 10 Russian medium tank, and there's nothing wrong with this tank. It has a great rate of fire. It's got good V range. It's got reliable armor. But I really don't think this is the right tank for this, given the number of tanks that we need to spot or track. I think you should just do it in a light tank. In fact, in some of the matches where I would start off spotting, I was just getting outspotted by light tanks, even though I'm over max V range in this. This is certainly doable in this tank. If I put a little more effort into this, I could have got the secondary done as well, but I didn't put a lot of effort into the mission, quite frankly. You'll see that in the replays. Vertical stabilizer and coated optics, because we are going to be on the move for this. You want that view range while you're on the move. Definitely make sure you bring 2 repair kits, because you are going to get tracked yourself as you're fighting to track other enemy tanks. If you don't have a medium tank, it's fine, because there's plenty of other tanks to do this in. I think you can do this in any of the heavies. It doesn't even need to be the 277. There's a reason that the faster heavies are good, because when it comes to the end of the match, maybe you want to rush out and spot some arty, things like that. So having the faster heavies is useful, but any of the heavies you can track tanks and have people shoot them, no big deal. But I think it's really easier to get this done in a light tank, because you can track, you can spot, you're extremely mobile. If you have the T100 LT, you're going to get this done with honors, no problem at all. So you'll see that the first match here, I didn't do particularly well. I was extremely aggressive. I was trying to get my team to kill things that I was spotting. I was taking a lot of damage in doing so. You can see there's not a lot of people in the field supporting me. One of our light tanks is still at base. Our Artie's still at base for whatever reason. There just wasn't a lot of people in that match to support me. So that was match 1. I got 1 tank spot. And based on the low amount of effort that I put into that, and the fact that I didn't have a terribly good game, I figured I would get this done pretty easy. Second match, I got the same exact thing, 1 tank. So going into the third match, I decided to just be a little more aggressive and reckless, and you really don't need to do it this way. But what I realized is, as I was spotting up on this little ridge here, I realized that there was nobody down this line. So they don't have anybody on the 5-6 line. And so I just decided to make the move to go push towards the arty, see if I could light them, and have our artillery kill them. And so that's exactly what I did, is I just pushed over the middle this early in the match. There's not even a tank that's dead yet, quite frankly. Normally I wouldn't do this, but so I just pushed over. I used these bushes to cover me, and as soon as I lit something, I just sort of stopped and hoped that my team would shoot them. Now I could shoot here because of the distance. I'm in bushes. I've got a camo crew on this tank, but I'm just gonna let my team do the damage here. I don't need to risk anything at this point. So the team slowly kills this guy. Not sure what's taken so long since he's in the open, he's lit, but they slowly kill him, and I get credit for this. So that was a plus. And then once that was done, I just decided to push up towards those arty. But I think in fact, I was even telling my team, hey, I'm gonna go spot these arty. Please just fire. But I think someone on the enemy team knew exactly what I was doing, and they realized there was a gap, because the opposing 140 came to to fight with me, and I wanted to get towards the middle. And the reason that I wanted to get towards the middle here, which is why I'm turning my back to this tank, is you see that TD that hit me? If I had pushed towards the middle maybe a little faster, I could get in this little dip here. They wouldn't have shots on me from the 1-2 line. I lit that Artie up, but he went dark just before he died, so I didn't get credit for that. Which is unfortunate, but I did get credit for the kill on the medium tank, so at least I got something out of this match. So there was a couple kills there that were useful. So again, worked into the sixth match. On the fifth match, I got another spot, but I'm in the sixth match, and I need 2 more to go. I push all the way up to the enemy base, lighting this tank destroyer, trying to get somebody to shoot at him. We have 3 artillery. Actually, we only have 2 artillery, but that should be enough to get people to shoot in this direction. I've lit their arty once already, so I'm hoping that somebody's going to shoot the arty as well. But there's really nobody around to shoot this. You can see the mediums that we have back at base doing God knows what. And this is really the biggest challenge of this mission, is if you're doing this alone, you are 100% dependent on your team to be doing something fairly intelligent while you're trying to spot and track. And you can see in some of this, that's not happening. What those 2 mediums are doing, God only knows, but they're not being useful in any way, shape, or form. So I'm going to push up on this arty and just hope that the team actually shoots the artillery that's in the open and completely spotted. The other thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to light up this Skoda, and I planned on just taking a bunch of damage from him and hope that somebody would kill him, but he lit me on fire. And so at this point, not a lot that I can do, but somebody eventually kills the Skoda, and somebody kills the artillery, and so I got credit for both of those and completed the primary. But because I was pretty lackadaisical about doing this mission, I actually didn't get any more spotting in the next 4 missions, so got 0. But we completed the primary. That's all that really matters. So probably not the best example of how to get this done, but a couple of tips that I think are going to make it easier. 1, I hope you just run a light tank, because it'll be super easy in a light tank. 2, really don't be reckless. You saw me do a bunch of reckless stuff there. Don't be reckless. If you want to get the secondary done, just be a little more conservative in what you're doing. If you just care about the primary, run all over the map, take a bunch of risk, because you will get this done. You have 10 matches to get 7 spotting or tracking kills. It's not a big deal. Always know where your team is, and recognize that they're not necessarily going to help. So sometimes it just pays to be patient and wait for your team to move into a position where they can shoot down a particular lane before you start to get super aggressive. Also, because you don't want to do any killing, and sometimes you just have to track somebody without doing damage, carry a little HE. If you do 10, 20 damage to somebody while you fire HE into the track, it's not a big deal. But carry enough HE that you can keep somebody tracked without the risk of significant damage to them. At the end of every match, remember that there's already hiding somewhere. You want to put yourself in a position to spot those already. And this is why I say, if you're going to do this in a heavy tank, and you can certainly do this in a heavy tank with tracking and even spotting in some cases, use a faster heavy tank like a 277 or say a T10, for example. Something with a little bit of speed, because you want to be the one to get to those artillery at the end of the match. You should be in full spotting mode towards the end of every match to get this done. And the other thing is, don't try to force out spotting your light tanks. There's a good chance you're not going to outspot them, and it's not worth trying to push past your light tanks to get the spotting. Just focus on tracking at that point, and then see if there's other opportunities to spot, either on different areas of the map or in later stages of the match. So that's Union-12. You'll get this done, guys. It's pretty easy, and if you have a little more patience than I did, I didn't have a light tank to get this done in, so I just tried to force it with a medium, and you could certainly do that. But if you have a light tank, you'll knock this out, no problem. Good luck on this one, guys, and I will see you in the next one.